Well, welcome to Quick Wins for ADHD Moms. Hey, I'm Jess, and today we have a very special guest. Carol Siege is a certified professional coach and keynote speaker and a mother of four, and she supports parents of neurodiverse children as they navigate their family journeys. She received an undergraduate degree in English from the University of Pennsylvania and a master's in journalism from New York University, and relies on real-world experiences to motivate parents who are struggling to raise children who don't fit the mold. You can find her at familypathways.com. Thank you so much for being here, Carol. We're excited to have you.
Thanks so much for having me, Jessica. I'm excited to be here and have a great conversation.
Yes, there's always so many questions I have, but first, let's dive into today's quick win.
Sure. So my quick win to start us off has to do with getting the kids out the door on school mornings and using simplicity and systems to help. And it starts with breakfast. If you don't have a system, you don't keep it simple, everybody's coming down and somebody wants this and somebody wants that. And it can be hectic. And my suggestion is that you make a plan across the week, Monday through Friday. You always know that Mondays you're having cereal and Tuesdays you're having toaster waffles and so on and so on. You can do something different each day of the week. You can go back and forth, so you just have 2 or 3 options. But the key is that you know that every Monday you're having a certain food item, every Tuesday, and that the kids know it as well.
Okay, so there are expectations.
Right. Expectations, very important. You can't just assume that because you have decided that Monday is going to be cereal, that the kids are on board. You need to make sure that they know it as well. And if you don't mind, I give you a couple of suggestions to make it a little easier.
Absolutely. I need all the suggestions you
Okay,
have.
great. So as I said, the first thing is getting the buy-in from the kids. And part of that, if you have one child, that might be easier. If you have more than one child, each child gets, what's their favorite breakfast, so that it's not a fight about, well, I don't like XYZ today. So each child knows that they're going to have their favorite breakfast, whatever morning it is. And a couple of other suggestions, a couple other things to keep in mind are that if you as a mom struggle with, doing the same thing every day.
I do.
You're craving,
Absolutely.
if you're an ADHD mom and you're craving change and you're pushing back against routine, the couple of things that I would keep in mind are, number one, that you can always use the weekends as your break the rule time. Don't follow any system time. Always remember that's coming. And the other thing I would keep in mind is that when you're raising kids, they need structure. If they have ADHD themselves, if they, if they're neurotypical, kids need structure. And the idea is that you're trying to start your day off on the right foot for both yourself and for your kids. And so keeping that in mind might help you get over the hump of, well, I don't want to have a system.
I
Keep
fight
it simple.
that all the time. Yes.
Yeah. And you can also have have a little bit of variety in there, but keeping it simple. You have 2 or 3 options for cereal. You have 2 different options for your toppings for your oatmeal. But the key, again, I'm going to say it one more time, is simplicity and systems.
Absolutely. And I think it would be easier to schedule your grocery shopping around, what you're going to have on Mondays. And if you do your grocery shopping on Sunday or Monday, here's your list. And if it's out, you need
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. So important. You know what you need to have in the house. So when you go food shopping, I better pick up another jar of maple syrup. It's just, it helps all of these pieces. It keeps things in
Running in
smoothly.
some kind of order. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it reduces the chaos. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to dive into just your personal story. You have 4 boys. And I love that you say they're an alphabet soup of
The
diagnoses. And
alphabet
so,
soup of diagnoses. Yes, I do.
yeah,
Yes. So, so as you said, I have four sons, and they all fall under that very large, broad umbrella of
umbrella.
neurodiversity. And my story starts with my second oldest son, and he was diagnosed with, at the time, Asperger's. Now it's considered autism spectrum disorder. Um, he was diagnosed with Asperger's when he was 4. And just to give you a sense of how far we have come since that time, the doctor at the diagnosis said, well, if it was autism, I would just say, I'm sorry. So happily, we really have come a long way since then. So after that initial diagnosis, my oldest was diagnosed with ADHD. And fast forward 29 years, and all four have been diagnosed with ADHD. 3 are on the spectrum. 3 struggle with learning differences and anxiety. We have dealt with OCD and depression and an eating disorder. So we, of course, as you can see, have had a lot on our plate. And yet I love my boys. I'm proud of my boys. They are kind and compassionate and smart. And even as they, you know, still hit snags along the way.
Of course, we all still hit snags, of course. And what do
It's
you
called life.
think it's called life? What do you think has been your kind of behind the scenes structure to be able to engage with that and to be able to not lose your mind and your kids have moved to different states? Like you have had a family structure that has held together through all of that. What can you attest that to?
Yeah, I think that probably the biggest part, um, and I would say the most significant part of it is acceptance. Accepting who my boys are, recognizing that their diagnoses aren't their person. They are
That's
issues
beautiful.
that they deal with, and they're separate. And when they have challenges, it's not the person that is um, hitting it's not the person that's having the problem. There's an issue, and there are skills that need to be learned, and it doesn't mean that, we're giving up. Um, ADHD in particular, with boys, one typical challenge that comes up when they're very young, is, they're handsy, and that can,
Get them into trouble.
sometimes that can be trouble. Sometimes they're just walking by and they're just going to smack something or someone. And it's not about saying that that child is bad because of something they've done. It's, impulse control, and they need
Hmm.
to learn how to hold on to those impulses, how to not give in to those urges, and to recognize them for what they are. So it's a skill they need to learn. So we're not giving up and saying, well, they don't need to learn it,
Yeah.
but it's also not blaming the person for, for that behavior. And the second thing is patience, because it takes a long
Yes.
time. It takes a lot of reinforcement. It takes, saying the same thing sometimes many more times than you would need to say it for a neurotypical person. And that's just, that just comes with it. You just need to dig
It's
deep,
okay to,
find that patience.
yeah, and it's okay to keep repeating yourself and tell yourself they need to hear it 100 times, not 7.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm going to add one last thing.
Absolutely.
Especially with 4 sons who had ADHD, a sense of humor, crucial. Got to be able to
Yes.
step back and look at the situation, and because sometimes it's really funny.
Yeah. Well, their brains can make connections in so many different ways. And the creativity is unbelievable. You know, our kids will come home and tell a story at school, and it's so different than what we hear from someone else, but you hear their perspective and you're like, you were paying attention to everything that was going on. right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's great to recognize that. It's great to be
Yes.
able to say to your kid, "Oh my gosh, wow, you really were," as you said, right? "You really were paying attention. Wow,
Yeah.
what a cool perspective."
Yeah, they do. And it's like that hyper focus, and we think that they're not paying attention. We think that they're not listening, and that can get really frustrating. But telling ourselves, just keep saying it, keep the reinforcement. They're going to get it. We don't
And
always
one
have to live in this chaos.
Yes, that's right. What one if you're a parent and you're frustrated because you think you're telling your child something and they're not listening,
Hmm.
one really easy thing to do is just to ask them. You know,
Mm.
let's say you're talking to them about, as we said before, right? Hey, tomorrow is going to be cereal for breakfast, but they're playing with their Legos or whatever else they have, and they're drawing whatever else they have in front of them, and it doesn't look like they're paying attention. Just ask them, "Hey, what'd I just say?" And you might be
They usually repeat
surprised
it.
how often they'll say, "Yes, you said cereal for breakfast tomorrow morning. I got it."
Okay, great. Yeah. So getting a breakfast schedule and getting your kids involved in choosing the breakfast schedule is just one quick tip to make your life a little bit easier. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carol. I appreciate it. I know we're going to have you on the next episode as well because you just have such a wealth of information. So we're going to hear another quick tip from you next week. But if someone wanted to get a hold of you, how would they find you?
Yes. So reach out to me. My email address is carol@familypathwayscoaching.com. You can also find me online. My website is Family Pathways Coaching. And I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I love having conversation. So, Jessica, thanks so much for the opportunity to chat with you today.
Absolutely. I think ADHD moms just need to hear the encouragement, and these little tips are very helpful. So thank you. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that episode of that interview with Carol. She has so much good information. We're going to have her on again to talk about some other great quick wins. But if you have a quick win or you're interested in being on the show and sharing your quick win, I would love to chat with you. You can reach me, Jessica, at theadhdmom.com. We've got a lot of resources that we're developing. You can check out the website for some downloadable content that you can use, some freebies, a whole sheet of quick wins, just dopamine hits, lots of stuff that we're developing for you. Again, you can go to theadhdmom.com to find all of that. We'll have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.